Jai Hind everyone, my name is Aman Gupta and I am working as an assistant professor in MC department in Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College. My subject is software engineering and whose subject code is BMC 302. So today we are discuss about software testing. So first of all, let's start with what is testing. Software testing is the process of testing the software product. So when we develop a software, it is a very crucial part that we have to test that it is working fine or not. So it is the major part of a software engineering process that is called the software testing. So testing strategy provides a framework or set of activities that are essential for the success of the project. So we have different type of levels or testing stages that we have to do to check whether our project is working fine or not, or and it totally the success of project is totally dependent upon the successful completion of the testing stages. So they may include the planning, designing of test cases. We have to design some test cases. We have to provide some test inputs, and on the basis of that inputs, we have to check that the required or the desired outcome will be getting or not. So, execution of program with test cases, interpretation of outcome, and finally collection and management of the data. This is all dependent upon the testing. So testing is the process of executing a program with the intent of finding the errors. So this is the process that if we check any particular module of the program, or the we check the whole program, whole software as a program, then we need to find that which errors can come when we test our software, and we need to remove it successfully. So effective software testing will contribute to the delivery of high quality software products, because more satisfied users and more developed with no errors software products can result in the satisfied users, lower maintenance cost, and more accurate reliable result. If the number of errors, if errors in a software less, then the all these things, that maintenance, uh, satisfied users graph, and the accuracy of the software is high. Accuracy of software is high. Hence, software testing is necessary and important activity of software development process. So, this is a very crucial part of when we develop any type of software. Then there is a question that why should we test? So software testing is itself an expensive activity. So launching of software without testing may lead to cost potentially much higher than that of testing, especially in systems where human safety is involved. So if a program is launched without a proper testing scenario, without following a proper testing scenario, then maybe the maintenance cost of a software is very much higher than the normal one. So in the software life cycle, the earlier the errors are discovered and removed, the lower is the cost of the software or the cost of their removal. So we need to find out the errors through software testing at the earlier stages of software development. Who should do the testing? So next question is, who is the person who needs to do the testing? It may be the developer, it may be the tester, it may be the end user. So testing requires the developers to find the errors in their software. The first step is the developer itself need to do the software testing to find the errors. So it is difficult for software developers to point out errors from their own creation. So there may be this problem occurs, then the person who is actually creating a software then to find out errors in the same code. So that's why many organizations have made distinction between developer development and the testing phases. So there may be different persons who develop a software or test the software. So he can do by making different people responsible for each phase. So the person who is developing a software may be a software developer, or the person who is checking the cases or the testing suit may be the different person, may be the software tester. Now the next question is, what should we test? What should we test when we are working on a software? Then what program, what module of program, and how it can be checked. So we should test the program's responses to every possible input. It means we should test for all valid and invalid inputs. So if we maybe we can check if we are providing, if we have a program that addition of two numbers is this one, then we can input value a equals to 1, we can give input a equals to 1, a equals to -1 and 100, or in decimal. So we have different test cases to test this condition. So we should test for all valid and invalid inputs and execute all the possible parts of the program. So it is necessary when we are checking a program, then we should check, or the tester or the developer, who may be the person who is checking the software, must check all the inputs by giving all the inputs whether they are valid or whether they are invalid. So a program path can be traced through the code from the start of program to the program termination. So this is the path that from the there is a program with start, and then whether there are multiple steps with end, then this has to check from this point to this point. This is the LOC, line of code, and all the lines should be checked when we are talking about a program. So two paths differ if the program executes a different statement in each, or executes the same statement but in different order. So it may be occur. Now we have test case and test suite. So what is the difference between all these? Test case, this is the triplet ISO. This is ISO, where I is the data input to the system. This I is the input that is given to the software. S is the state of the system at which the data is input. O is the expected output of the system. So we are giving input and we are getting the output. So test suite, what is test suite? This is the set of all test cases that I have shown you in our previous slide, that of all test cases with which a given software is to be tested. This is all the test cases, whether it is valid or whether it is invalid. The combination of all test cases makes a test suite. So the set of test cases is called a test suite. Hence, any combination of test cases may generate a test suite. So test data inputs which have been devised to test the system. Now we have three levels of testing, that is unit testing, integration testing and systems testing. First of all, we discuss about unit testing. So we have a different number of reasons that we should do the unit testing, rather we depend upon testing the entire product at one go. So maybe the size of single module is small enough that we can locate an error fairly easily. So through this testing, what we do, we have a, suppose we have a very large software code, then we first divide it into different modules and then check the modules independently that they are working fine or not. So in a smaller pattern, it is easier to find out the or locate the errors. So the module is small enough that we can attempt to test it in some demonstrably exhaustive fashion. So we can check it independently in a better way, and it is much easier to find out the errors when we check that modules independently. So unit testing is undertaken after a module has been coded and successfully reviewed. So when we uh, divided our large software code into smaller modules, then first of all we checked that is it has been proper coded and successfully reviewed. Then it is the testing of different units of system in isolation. So we are not testing it at one go. We are testing that for this module, if we are giving some set of inputs, then it give us the required or the desired output. So in order to test a single module, a complete environment is needed to provide all that is necessary for the execution of the module. Now scaffolding required testing a program unit, a module under test. This is the driver module and this is the stub module. So stub acts as a, what is a stub? Stub is a small piece of code that replaces another component during testing. So this is the stub module, that is a very small piece of code. So what is the benefit of using that type of stub is their ability to consistently return results, which simplifies the test writing. So if any other component are not fully functional, then you can still execute test using stubs. You can use stubs because maybe there are some parts that is required to check successfully that the proper particular unit or module is working fine or not. So in that case, maybe the testing is not complete without some part that is in another module. So we can use that stub at in the place of this that type of code. We can use that step to successfully check our piece of or our module to that it is run successfully or not. Now next one is the integration testing, and the purpose of unit testing is to determine the uh, particular modules at their isolation level, that they are working fine or not independently. But in this gives little chance to determine that the interface between module is also correct, and for this reason integration testing must be performed. So we checked all the modules independently. Then what we do in integration testing, we checked all these modules that we have already checked. These are checked where they are integrate at one place, and then it is checked that it is working fine or not. So it focuses on the interaction of modules in the subsystem. So unit tested modules combined to form the subsystems. So the unit tested modules, the modules that we have already tested, they are integrate to form a complete system, and then it has been checked for the errors. So test cases to exercise the interaction of modules in different way. So first one is integration testing is top down testing. So it starts with the main routine and one or two subroutine in the system, and then after the top level skeleton has been tested, the immediately subroutines of the skeleton are combined with it and then tested. So this is the uh, approach through which integration testing has been done, that at a level 1 this has been tested, and then the top level skeleton this has been checked this has been integrated with it and then it is checked. Then level 2 has been integrated to this, checked, level 2. So top down integration testing approach requires the use of program stubs to simulate the effect of lower level routines that are called by the routines under the test. So this is called the top down testing. Now we have the bottom up testing. So in this testing, subsystem is tested separately and then the full system is tested. So the main purpose of this type of testing is to test the interfaces among various modules making up the subsystem. Both control and data interfaces are tested through this type of practice. So it integrates the individual components in levels until the complete system has been created. So most integration models involves a combination of these strategies. Now next one is the system testing, and in this the software is compiled as the product and then it is tested as a whole. So this can be accomplished using one or more following tests, that is functional testing, performance testing and security and portability has to be checked. So in functional testing, all the functionalities of the software are tested against the requirement. Now next one is the performance testing, and this proves how efficient the software is. It is working fine or not, or the effectiveness and average time taken by the software is has been right place to do the desired task. Performance testing is done by means of load testing and stress testing, where the software is put under high user and data load under various environment conditions by giving different type of inputs to the system, and then it checked that it performed well or not. Next one is the security and portability. So these tests are done when the software is meant to work on various platforms and accessed by a number of persons. These are some attributes on which our software has been tested. So first one is the usable. This is usable is the product convenient, clear and predictable. Secure, is access to sensitive data restricted to those with authorization? Will the product work correctly in conjunction with existing data, software and processors? Do adequate, dependable, this has been checked, that do adequate safeguards against failure and methods for recovery exist in the product. Next one is the documented. So are manuals complete, correct and understandable? So these are the attributes. These all are the attributes that needs to be checked during the software testing. Developed or not. So a series of tests are conducted to enable the customer to validate all the requirements. So these tests are conducted by the end users, and from maybe the ad hoc test to a well planned systematic series of tests. This can be done through different type of inputs or through the different type well planned things or series of tests that has been checked, uh, through which the acceptance testing can be done, that this is the requirement given by the particular client. So the term alpha and beta testing used when the software is developed as a product for anonymous customers. So what is alpha testing? Uh, Alpha testing is done by using the system. It is being used in the work environment. So, and who the persons who doing the alpha testing? A team of developers doing the alpha testing in the real work environment. So they try to find out that if it gives some input or some test cases applied to the software, then what reaction may be produced to some action in the software and how the system should respond to the inputs. This has been checked through alpha testing method. Next is the beta testing, and after the software is tested internally, it is handed over to the client, and client use it under their production environment only for testing purposes. That in a real world environment, there is a simulating environment that the product is working fine or not. So this is not as yet the delivered product. Developers expect that users at this stage will bring minute problems that were skipped to the attain. Now next is the regression testing, and it is defined as a type of software testing to confirm that a recent program or code change has not adversely affected existing features. So in regression testing, it is checked that if there may be some problem in a code and we made some changes to the code in a some part of code, then it has been tested, then it may not affect the existing part of the software. So regression testing is nothing but a full or partial selection of executed test cases. So it has been checked through the previous test cases, and there may be some new test cases through which we can check that whole software is working fine or not. So that are executed to ensure existing functionalities work fine, or they may not be altered by adding some new code or new changes to the code. So this testing is done to make sure that the new code changes do not have side effects on the existing functionalities. So it ensures that the old code still works once the latest code changes are done. If the latest code changes are done, then it does not affect adversely on the existing code. Now selecting regression test, there are some steps that requires knowledge about the system and how it is affected by the existing functionalities. Tests are selected to include the area which has undergone code changes many times, and tests are selected based on the criticality of the features. Now this is the process of regression testing, that identification of bugs, program failure, and we can do then debugging, and then identification by through the process of debugging they find out the bugs, and then these bugs have been modified by changing the source code to make it bug free, or to remove the errors. And then what type of test cases should be done in the case of regression testing? This is the select the existing test cases and covering the modified and affected parts of the code. So existing test cases plus generate new test cases if required. So this with the combination of this existing test cases and new test cases, now it has been checked that these test cases combinedly can used to do the regression testing. So techniques for the selection of test cases. First is select all the test cases. All the test cases are selected from the already existing test suite, and then select test cases randomly. In this, test cases are selected randomly from the existing test suite, and then it has been checked if all the test cases are equally good in their fault detection capability, which is very rare, hence it is not used in most of the cases. Select modification traversing test cases. In this technique, only those test cases are selected which covers and tests the modified portions of the source code of the parts which are affected by these modifications. Now select higher priority test cases. In this technique, priority codes are assigned to assigned to each test case of test suite based upon their bug detection capability. And after assigning the priority codes, test cases with higher priorities are selected for the process of regression testing. So test case with highest priority is highest rank. For example, with priority code 2 is less important than test case with priority code 1. Now, how this prioritization can be done? On the basis of technical requirement and on the basis of customer requirement. Essential test cases: priority 2 test case, priority 3 execution, priority 4 not important test case, and priority 5 redundant test cases. And on this we can define priority code 1 important for the customer, required to increase the customer satisfaction, and third is help to increase the market share of the product. So there may be these these facts that on which we can define the prioritization of the technique. Approaches of testing, these are the black box testing and white box testing, and we will discuss these two techniques in later video. Now that's all for today. Thank you so much.